Using a ruler is a great way to help kids convert between fractions, decimals, and understand inches. Here's how I do it. So on a regular piece of graph paper, I'm going to sketch this ruler. And this ruler is going to represent a few things. The first thing that it's going to represent is 6 inches. So I would write that down so my child can see that, or my student can see that. 6 inches. I can also represent this as 6 inches so they are familiar with that mark. The next thing I can do with this ruler is represent half. Now, we want our kids to understand fractions, and particularly benchmark fractions. So 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, 1/5, and so on. Okay? Now, this is the cool thing. You can do this. It doesn't take much materials, it just takes a little bit of time. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to indicate half using the ruler. 3 is half of 6. So I'm going to make this my halfway point, and I'm going to represent this as 1/2 of 100. Okay, so I can draw this like this. And what we're doing here is we're creating a visual for our kids to understand. Okay, you see that? Now, if I say I want to do 1/3, how would I do 1/3? I'm going to keep this. This is going to be my point, my reference point, this ruler. Say, well, how will I do 1/3? What is 1/3 on this ruler? And this can help you to gauge your child's understanding of a concept. And during this time, you want to make sure you're being patient and kind, understanding that they have to learn. So we can't just get explosive because they don't know already. And then what you want to do is, after they give you the answer, you say, okay, well, 2 is 1/3 of 6. 2 is 1/3. So we're just going to draw. So 2, 4, 6. We're drawing, and draw it down a little bit bigger. And this is going to indicate 1/3. This is going to indicate. And so we're using a ruler to help our kids understand, okay? And I'm doing this with my students currently, so I'm speaking from experience. Now, how would we determine 1/4? What is 1/4 of 6? Now, the child may say, oh, well, 4 is not a factor, or I don't know how to do that. So what you can simply do in that moment is you remove your ruler and you say, okay, well, half of 1/4 is 1/4. Excuse me, 1/2 of 1/2 is 1/4. Excuse me, half of 1/2 is 1/4. So we would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh my goodness. So we have 13. So we've got to split one of these in half. And I'm just going to ballpark it. I'm going to ballpark it. And we teach our kids, well, what is ballparking? Ballparking is an estimate, okay? Just an estimate. And I'm going to ballpark it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, it could be, you say, Ashley, your measurements are just slightly off. And that could be true. That could be true, okay? But that's all right. We're just ballparking it. So if we say somewhere in between, maybe about here, okay? And this, with a ruler, it helps us to have a standard of measurement, okay? And we're splitting some of these squares in half. That's okay. Now, what is half of 1/4? That would be 1/8. So now we're still guesstimating. If your child is very particular on making sure it's accurate, then you want to use a piece of paper where they can see, okay, this number lines up perfectly with this number. Maybe it's not a 6-inch ruler, maybe it's a 12-inch ruler, maybe it's a 14, whatever it may be, okay? So we're going to split this, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5. Okay, so this is 1/8. Okay, and then that helps kids. Oh, look, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. This is not 1/8. That's 2/8. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to split it right about here. And that will be 1/8. And the thing to remember is we're going to make mistakes. We're going to make mistakes. But that's okay. That is okay. That's part of when we're splitting these fourths into halves, and that gives us 1/8. And when we do that, we're showing our children that we are learning with them. Learning happens after mistakes are made, and we label these. Now you may say, well, how do we do 1/3, 1/5, 1/8? That's where you can get creative and work with the measuring tools. And then from there you can count, well, how many eighths are we counting? We say 4/8. How much is that? We say 5/8. How much is that? How much is 3/8? And we can work through conversions. And this is a very simple way to help us help our children understand the relationship between fractions and using a ruler. And then when we talk about decimals, we would divide 1/8. And that would create, I'm just going to show you so you're like, what is she talking about? We have to divide 1/8. Yes, we have to divide 1/8. This is how we do it. We divide 1/8. Okay, and then we take it from there. We bring down the zeros to create the decimal. And I'm running out of space because I wrote too big. That's okay. And so forth. Give this a try and let me know what you think.